unfiltered and unapologetic.
Welcome to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, where it's unapologetic and unfiltered wrestling content with Keithan and Sherrod. And a new ad, which we about to get to here in a second. What's going on, Keithan?
Nothing much, man. 5 years in this thing. Happy fifth anniversary.
For sure.
Pause.
It's been a minute. Like I can't believe it's been 5 years already.
Yeah, it flew by. It flew by real quick.
Yeah, but for everybody that has been riding with us since the beginning, or if you're a new ad, thank you for listening. You know, we enjoy doing what we doing, and when we started this, it was just two dudes talking about wrestling. With that being said, now we got a third dude talking about wrestling. We bringing in my boy, my brother, my dog, Jacory. What's going on, man?
Yerp, what go down? What go down? It's good to be with you guys, man. 5 years,
Welcome
huh?
aboard, Jacory. Yeah, we've been on this thing for 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
That is a
Sporadically.
hell of a long time.
Oh man,
Yeah,
we came a long way.
yeah, we've been doing
Come
this
a long way.
sporadically
Yeah.
here and there. And stuff. Episode here, episode here. Surprise people with episodes.
Hey
Oh,
man, but
yeah, I listened to a few things, and it's been good so far.
when they come out, they hit though.
Oh yeah, always.
So we doing this episode is kind of a special edition. We're gonna cover something that I'm pretty sure, unless you've been living under a rock, the entire wrestling world knows about. We're gonna be doing the Vince McMahon scandal and lawsuit or whatnot. And I mean, this is probably one of the most serious episodes we'll probably ever do. I will say before we get started, I think at least me personally, this one is kind of it's a little much.
At this point,
So,
it's a saga because
hopefully
it continues.
it's just
Mhm.
it's just ongoing. I mean, we'll bring the latest news we got today, and then we'll go over the stuff everybody knows. But it did. I mean, this one kind of hit hard. But before we do that, bit of a housekeeping or whatnot. Let's kind of just cover a couple current events. Y'all watched Royal Rumble?
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
did. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did you think?
You can go first, Jacory.
Oh, good. Uh, I think the women stole that one. They stole the show on that one, on that whole card. But of course, with the Roman Reigns match, the 4-way, it was good, but it was predictable. He hasn't, in the past, what, 3 years he's held the title. I haven't seen him not win a match without interference. So that one was pretty
Ridiculous.
predictable on that one. But yeah, I think the women's Royal Rumble stole that show.
I completely agree. That was the top match of the night for me. With the Jade Cargill introduction
Oh
and
yeah.
her, man, that the way the roof came off that place, just
Oh yeah.
finally
Mhm.
getting to see her come in the ring and show what she's learned in the short few months she's been working in NXT and then working in the Dungeon 2.0 with Natalia and Tyson Kidd, training very hard. You can see that I was texting Sherrod during the match. I was like, man, she looks better already. She looks the
She
best
did.
that she's looked ever. Because
Oh, she looks
AEW,
great.
yeah, exactly. She didn't learn anything at the Nightmare Factory that much, and AEW just threw her out there without the right training.
She learned how
And-
to have a nightmare.
but she learned the right way now. She got her wits about it. And then Jordan Grace from TNA coming in. That woman there is a freaking star and a
Oh, what a
powerhouse.
sight! What a sight! That was a good
Man.
one.
Yeah, and then the way they incorporated her and Naomi's past rivalry into their the match. I didn't think that they were gonna do that. That wasn't gonna happen under Vince McMahon. So I'm enjoying the Triple H regime of the Royal Rumble because it's his first one with Vince McMahon's fingerprints are nowhere near it, and I loved it. So it was great, and I agree with you with the Roman Reigns match. It's just it kind of puts a stinker on his reign a little bit that he cheats at every corner, and it's very predictable. I knew Solo was gonna pull the ref out or hit somebody with the Samoan spike. The only thing that surprised me about that match is that Jimmy didn't come out and help Solo with it.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts.
Yeah, do something different.
Sherrod, what about you, big dog?
Well, I mean, I thought the men's Royal Rumble was the best match. I thought the 4-way was the worst match, and the women probably was a close second.
A close second.
Yeah, seeing Cody win again so that he can finish the story. That's the way it went off the air with him and Roman talking across the stadium, and I mean, for a minute, I really thought CM Punk was gonna win. The women's Royal Rumble would have been the best one to me if Jade Cargill had a win over. If Jade or Bianca had won it, I'd have been like, that was by far the best one. Everything was perfect, but because of that, I can't give it.
I will say that final two battle with Cody and CM Punk was probably the best final two battle I've seen in a while. But I still don't think
long time.
I still don't think it trumped the women's. I did like to see Bayley win. That kind of caught me off guard because I did not expect her to win.
Neither did I.
No,
that was a good
I
person
don't.
to
That's
win.
that's what I liked about it. You're like, kiss me off guard. That's how you get me. Kiss me off guard. I don't want to predict it.
I wanted Jade Cargill to win the damn thing. You didn't held her out all this time. You finally
She's not
bring her
ready,
out.
man.
Exactly. It's too soon. I think it's too soon.
She's not
don't
ready.
bring her out then.
They haven't even put her back on TV yet.
Don't bring her out then. What's the
You
point?
have to. That's what makes the Royal Rumble big. She's a pop in. They pop in, do a little shuck and jive, and then they're out of there.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
She served her purpose. I feel she served her.
Definitely.
Listen, I thought her and Tiffany Stratton were going to win it. I wouldn't have been mad if it was Tiffany Stratton. I just wanted to see something different.
I think we saw some difference. I mean, Bayley hasn't been in that spot in a while. To tell you the truth.
But she didn't won the title, gave it up. Won the title, gave it. Can we get another champion?
She hasn't had the title in like 4 years since like the pandemic. Remember, she was carrying the pandemic as champion for like a full year until she got hurt. She dropped it to Bianca.
Honestly, if it had been Tiffany Stratton or Jade Cargill, I'd have gave that the best.
It's too soon for Tiffany Stratton too. She still got to be established. She's not all the way established.
Yeah, they're not WrestleMania ready.
Exactly. Tiffany Stratton's good now. She's good.
She's great. She ain't just good. She's great.
Well, I think you're just incorporating your attraction to her. I think
you putting a little too much salt on it. You got her too much seasoning.
Yeah, she blonde.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Whatever.
You know your weakness for blonde.
What I will give credit to is Triple H was in his bag that night. That's one of the best Royal Rumbles I've seen in probably 20 years. I ain't gonna even lie to you. It was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
I completely agree. It was, and for it to be 4 matches, like that's unheard of. A pay-per-view to be 4 matches.
Yeah, that's it. It was 4
and it didn't
matches.
feel like it.
No, it didn't. It went quick. It was pretty good.
I'm
hoping Mania will continue the momentum. I want to see Cody finish the story against Roman Reigns, and I don't know who Bayley's facing, but I mean, whatever.
Well, SmackDown went off tonight. She's going against Io Sky. They turned on her, so she's going to be facing Io Sky.
Wow! Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that is. They got a good pop from the crowd, so people been waiting on that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm going to tune in.
You going to tune in regardless.
I don't know who they're going to get for Rhea Ripley, though. That's the one thing I'm thinking about.
I'll take
Nia Jax
and Rhea Ripley. I know nobody wants to see
Nia Jax is going to injure her, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be Nia Jax, baby.
It's her. That's it.
They holding her to a higher standard now that she's back. I think it's going to be Nia Jax.
Yeah,
may
all
have
she gonna
she
do is
may have
hurt her.
came back as still a powerhouse and lost some weight, but she still. But you saw those botches she was committing in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Poor
Yeah.
Jade Cargill almost threw her back out when she sandbagged her to get over that damn rope. She wasn't giving her no help.
At
This is
all.
what I'm saying.
She gave her all the weight.
This is
Right, and Nia Jax had to throw people. She had to it was somebody she bench pressed and threw outside the ring and almost overshot it and stuff. But like that's typical Nia Jax. She still haven't really
it's
gotten
the
better.
same thing. Yeah.
At this point, you just don't want to get better.
Not really. She walking around looking like a pigeon in her little uniform. But I mean,
I I think they'll do Rhea and Nia at Elimination Chamber since I think they're having it in Australia, and
yeah,
Rhea she of course she got a main event that or something.
Okay. So
But I
if
think
she
they might.
wins that, who is she facing at WrestleMania?
I think maybe Becky Lynch. I don't know. It feels like they're moving in that direction. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it feels like Becky Lynch maybe.
I hope not.
I'd like to see Bianca. Bianca is the only person that makes sense if it's not Jade Cargill at this point. She pretty much ragdolls anybody you put in the ring with except
Well,
her. That's
if
it.
you look at that, if you go back and look at that moment between Jade and Bianca, notice the camera had them standing in between the WrestleMania logo. So usually when they do that, they signal like, "Hey, we're saving this for WrestleMania," in some capacity as a team or them facing each other. But that's definitely a WrestleMania match, Jade and Bianca.
Yeah, I do believe that's a WrestleMania quality match. But is Jade ready?
Ooh,
It's only one way to find out.
she,
Was Ronda ready? She main
hell
evented.
no, Ronda's
But
still
that's
not.
Ronda freaking Rousey, though, man.
I don't give a damn. She horrible freaking terrible or whatnot with wrestling. She looked horrible. They had to carry her the entire time.
And she still looks horrible. But the fact that it's Ronda Rousey, where she
She don't
came
got the
from, that was
same
enough.
cachet. She don't got the same cachet she had 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
It
I
whatever
still
time.
definitely
think
gives
she
you
is boo boo.
it definitely gives you mainstream attention, especially, and that's always good to have the mainstream attention.
Yeah,
But as far as in ring, is I mean, at least she tried. She's better than Nia Jax. I give her credit. She tried.
yeah,
She
yeah.
actually cares about the women's division. She actually cares about
This is true.
putting over other women and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's just
Touche.
her promo ability lacks. So and
I gotta give a
anyway,
shout out to Braun Breaker. He was nice in that thing.
He
right
was.
now
He
he's
was
ready.
nice.
He's ready.
But word on the street is he was the replacement for Brock, which
That's a good ass
well,
replacement.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I for a second I'm like, man, could he be in the final four or like he was just ragdolling people in there.
He could.
But
He really could have been.
could you imagine Brock being eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, though? I can't see it.
It wouldn't have
No,
happened.
I
no.
can't see it.
I mean, they said that was the
No, it
planned
wouldn't have
spot.
happened.
They said that every spot that Braun Breaker did, that was planned for Brock. So he was going to get eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, and then it was going to lead into Brock versus Dominic at WrestleMania, which I would not have wanted to see. So,
I wouldn't
I don't know
mind
how he
seeing
getting
Dom get
over.
tossed around.
I don't
but
know
I
how he
seen that
getting over.
already when Ray and Dominic had that little thing with Brock Lesnar, and he threw him all around the ring, and
That was a different Dominic, though.
Dominic's still 120 soaking wet. This dude
That
is
is
like
true, but
allergic to protein.
I don't know
Like,
how
what's
he
going
getting
on?
over, but he getting over. Well, he got heat, I will say.
He got heat. That's
He
like that
ain't getting over.
nuclear
Yeah, he got heat.
MJF type heat that he
Yeah,
has, and
he got heat.
I like it. I mean, it
But
probably would have been good to see him and Brock, because I mean, it is a different Dominic as far as skill set, and he got the heat, and he got his feet under him. But it's just, I mean, size wise, I mean, Brock Lesnar killed that dude in 2 moves.
Brock Lesnar
yeah,
probably won't be killing nobody no time soon.
Brock-
no time soon. Oh my
Yeah,
man.
I mean, segueing into that, good lord. Let's get down to this. So
Yeah.
the reason we having the episode, like we said, is the Vince McMahon scandal. And for those who have not heard or people who do know, this is just a basic recap. I think 48 hours before Royal Rumble, it came out that Vince McMahon was being sued by a former employee and slash, I don't know what you want to call her, but uh, she basically filed a lawsuit and said that she was, she was paid and forced to sign an NDA, and like I guess for lack of better words, she was supposed to get $3 million. She got one,
Mhm.
and this lawsuit just lays out just things about Vince McMahon and what happened from 2019 up until I want to say right at the last part of 2022. So this is going through the pandemic period and everything where I mean this is just I can't even put into words what the hell I just read. I mean,
Mhm.
first of all, the source that you can look up the lawsuit from is the Wall Street Journal. They have the entire lawsuit on there. If you decide to follow along or whatnot, just go to Google Wall Street Journal Vince McMahon lawsuit or whatever, and you should be able to see the entire 67 pages. If you haven't read it, I I encourage you to read it, especially just be prepared for some of the shocking things you will see
It
in
is very detailed,
here. It's
very very
extremely
detailed.
detailed. So we'll go through that. We'll start there and start going through that, and then kind of carry on with the latest and greatest news or whatnot. But I guess I mean I wrote notes. I don't know about
I want you to
anybody.
go through your notes because I know you highlighted some things
All
in
right.
that.
So let's just start at the top. The lady's name for people that's listed in the lawsuit is Janelle Grant.
Yep.
Now, from what I understand, the backstory on her was that she met Vince or whatnot. I believe they lived in the same living building or whatever the hell it was, and
She lived
from
in the
that,
same building as one of his
right?
employees.
From
Yeah.
yeah, and so she basically made the connection that way, and he kind of the lawsuit starts to detail their initial relationship, and she ends up working there. But I think the first note I wrote was page 13. If people,
Mhm.
this is just for people following on. Page 13, section. It's broken out into sections. So section 68. So we'll read from this. And again, I is folks. Some of this stuff is very graphic. I apologize. This is what's in the lawsuit, but
Listener
um
discretion is
yeah,
advised.
yeah, no, seriously, it really is. This is disturbing. But so section 68 says, and I put here started a pattern of behavior. And again, before I read all of this stuff at this time, as far as this is just a lawsuit laid out with dates and texts and things of that nature that she has detailed in this lawsuit. Allegedly, these things are coming from Vince during these dates and times and things like that. So, guilty until proven innocent, obviously, but it's very specific. So, section 68. Um, Around that time, McMahon also told Miss Grant that he would never forget how helpless she looked when they first met, and that he wanted to wrap his arms around her and assured her that everything is going to be okay, and that Miss Grant's problems were in the past. McMahon also told Miss Grant that he viewed her as a true friend. And if you read the preceding details to this, you start to see how this, young lady, I'm not quite sure how old she is, but she was very, at a time where she was very vulnerable. Both their parents had passed away. She doesn't
Ah,
have any family, things of that nature. Yeah. So he kind of
no,
met her.
no. At this point, she's pretty much a sugar. He was a sugar daddy. Just go ahead and get
Yep.
it out there.
Man, I'm
Like,
trying to be, yeah,
he was tricking.
He was
He was definitely
tricking,
trying to
right.
he was tricking.
I get it, but what
and
I'm
she was
saying
for
is,
it.
no, I'm not finna say that. There you go. See, we trying to stay on the motherfucking air, but
I feel like I said something along those lines to you the other day. I was like, why does she keep going back? But I don't want to say that like that. No, I don't want to say
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
well, no, the suit kind of lays out. It does lay out some explanation for why later on in it. They talk about, and we getting ahead of ourselves, but they talk about how she felt like she was going to lose her job, her livelihood. She just was in a cycle that she couldn't get out of. Even there are points and times where she even starts to tell him, I'm not comfortable with this, I don't like it, yeah, or whatever, and it just kind of was ignored. But I know
Mm.
this was what stood out to me at the very beginning was just, okay, this is starting a pattern of, hey, I'm here for you, blah, 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 blah. It just seems very predatory. But
It's like a sense of grooming.
yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I found her age. She's 43 years old right now. So when this was happening, she was like in her late
Late
30s, early
30s. Yeah,
40s.
late
Mm.
30s.
I thought she was a younger girl, but he,
But if you go about 5 sections down on the next page, you see how quickly it changes. So section 73, McMahon then stood up from his chair and knelt in front of the chair where Miss Grant was seated, blocking her from standing. He leaned close to Miss Grant and told her to kiss him. Miss Grant paused and gave McMahon a kiss on the cheek, to which McMahon sighed and said, "That's not what I meant." So
Mm.
you already see, here we go, it that stood out or whatnot. I mean, as you go further down, it just gets it literally gets progressively worse. You go down 2 pages, 82 to 83. I wrote. So this is where you start getting like specific dates. On May 11th, 2019, and again, this is all from the lawsuit in the Wall Street Journal. May 11th, 2019, McMahon invited Ms. Grant to his condo again, asked her to lay in bed with him before informing her that he had ordered WWE corporate officer number 4 to offer her a job, even though a job description had not been firmed up beyond a high-level summary. While incredibly excited to finally receive long-awaited employment and financial security, Ms. Grant expressed to McMahon that there seemed to be a conflict between his doing this and his warning to Ms. Grant that no one could know about their closeness. He appeared amused with this, replying, "It's my company." McMahon then undressed down to his briefs while Miss Grant remained clothed, and he began kissing Miss Grant and inserting his hands into her pants without consent.
Mm.
wow.
Mm. But
Oh, it gets
but they were dating.
worse. It, I okay. I think at that time, according to the suit, it was kind of like, "Hey, we're friends." That's how it started. The dating quotation mark thing didn't start till much later, from what I read. I think at that
Mm.
time she just was looking for, like she said, financial security and some
Mm.
stability after all everything else went down.
But
But
she is pretty much saying like the sexual uh, encounters happened before she was even given the job.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
Like a
that's
lot
the
of a
thing
lot
for
of the
me.
a lot of the beginning ones were consensual. They were dating. From
right,
what I read, they were in a relationship, and I don't know how you want to. I don't know if you want to call it a relationship, but they were in maybe some friends with benefits, maybe.
possible. I mean, that could be the case. I mean, who's to say? I don't think this was just a completely. I don't want to say it was. We don't know. It could have
Yeah.
been a completely uncoerced situation that kind of devolved into that as time went on. I mean, this is how this lawsuit reads, at least. But you never really know. It's not fully outlined what the hell was going on at one point in time.
Yeah.
I know if you go on down to the next page, though, it talks about on May 18th, 29. First of all, let me say something about this. A lot of these dates in here are very specific. Why the hell would you don't give specificity like this unless there's something there? This is a lot of creativity if it's made up. Who just
Right.
comes up with a date like May 18th,
She
2019?
needs to be writing erotica books if this is some made up stuff.
Right, a lot, or hell, better yet, on the damn creative team. Shit, I
Yeah,
mean,
for real.
this is very specific. But May 18th, 2019, encounter, Miss Grant felt coerced into engaging in sexual activity, and that McMahon had trapped her in an impossible situation, as she feared adverse career and personal consequences and legal retaliation if she declined his advances. McMahon stated, "This is what I have been waiting for." As he performed oral sex on Miss Grant, Miss Grant asked that protection be used, and McMahon responded that there was no need to worry because he was clean. And then it goes on to say, feeling that she was being used for his gratification, Miss Grant went numb and was unable to make eye contact. McMahon then flipped on his back and said, okay, basically he told her to perform a hand job. I'm trying to, and you go further down or whatnot. And she actually told him on June 16th, on Section 91, June 16, 2019, the day before starting with WWE, Ms. Grant attempted to shut down any further physical contact or sexual encounters by admitting to McMahon her unhappiness and concern starting her first ever job in his legal department, no less, while in a physical relationship with the chairman and CEO. She requested that they end any physical relationship while remaining friends to avoid any risk to either of them. McMahon refused, saying that it was not ending, it did not need to, and that he did not ever envision it ending. He reminded her that he trusted her, reiterated that rumors would lead to trouble, probed where her silence would be an issue, and brushed off her concerns that she was struggling with the feeling that her job felt unearned. McMahon told Miss Grant that all she needed to do was not tell anyone and that it just has to look legit.
Shit, 3 months of fucking around with him
Mm-hmm.
without your consent, you damn near, you definitely earn more than that. This dude
Mm-hmm.
made her go through all that for 3 months before he even gave her the job.
Yeah.
That's the troubling thing. And then she says that she doesn't want to do it, but she felt forced. That's where
Well,
he really getting stuck at right
I
there.
kind of want to wait till we get to some of the meatier parts of this to bring this up, but we all we all grew up watching Vince McMahon on TV. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
this seems so out of character. But then you start to kind of
Mm,
look at some of the other incidents that you hear about, like the thing with the WWE referee Reader Chatterton. That was a lawsuit at one point in time. The
Yeah.
stuff that
yeah.
came up previously. I mean, it's like, man, is this what it's really like when there's no camera and the curtains pulled back? I'm still struggling with that. I can't. I
Crazy thing
can't.
about the Rita Chatterton thing is she said it happened in 1986, came out with it 6 years later, and they couldn't do nothing because the statute of limitations expired.
Right.
So that just made her pretty much go away. But she always held true to her story. Like, he has a list of women that tried to come against him legally, like Michelle McGurk. She said that she was released in 1993 for denying his advances, but then she later rescinded it. So I guess she either got paid off or she was just bullshitting. Sable, when she got released, she tried to say that she was sexually harassed
I thought that was
because
a rumor.
What, the
no,
whole Sable thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
she sued them for $110 million. They ended up settling that
Yeah.
because they said Sable was just on some bullshit. Her story wasn't sticking. But they do have this one story that's actually picked up some steam in recent years. It was kind of under wraps. It was a former diva who got released in 2005 for
Oh, I've read about this. What is her name?
Christy Hemme.
There you go.
They
Mm-hmm.
said that she was coerced into giving him fellatio and then released when she didn't want to go any further with it. But they're saying that she got paid in 2018 $7.5 million to hush.
Sheesh.
And the
It's been a
terms
lot of
of it was,
payoffs.
oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
saying she can't say anything about WWE or Vince McMahon or nothing. So they're saying she never really came out to confirm it, but when everyone put the details and the time together, she's the only one that fits that description because she's one of the only women that was released in 2005 around that time.
I, man,
Mm-hmm.
this is like
And then Vince McMahon has been doing this shit in storylines. He's been doing shit like this in storylines,
Yeah.
like with Trish
Wh- wh-
Stratus.
Which
Uh,
makes it more believable
exactly.
because you get to see him do this on TV.
so you're adopting the where there's smoke, there's fire method of thinking with this, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Not
because
even.
yeah, go ahead.
Not even on my end, because I mean that I feel the storyline because of the storyline, because they've seen what we've seen. I think these allegations, I think a lot of these allegations against him are false, and I think a lot of them are just looking for paper. But I mean, it is what it is.
So
I
Let
have
me
some.
let me.
I heard a story from Tori Wilson about like something that was a little weird that happened between them.
Oh yeah.
She, yeah, she said she was speaking like a uncomfortable encounter when she was doing like one of those scenes with him. She said I was having racy scenes with Vince McMahon. It was very uncomfortable, extremely. That first day was actually the first time I met him, and it made me nervous anyway. I didn't know him very well at all. He was very intimidating. I had to make out with him in front of his wife, and his wife is telling me to grab him more and harder. It was just a very weird experience. So I'm like, so Linda is down with this too? Because she's telling this girl, like, laying into it. Like, and he's doing this with Candice Michelle, Dawn Marie, who else? Trish Stratus, of course.
That
It's
Trish
just
Stratus storyline was that was
that was uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but he was doing this outside of the WWE as well, because
He
I see it
was.
here. It's saying that a spa manager actually accused him
That was
of
true. I think
assault.
in
Yes.
2011.
2011. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
He wanted.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I believe he wanted a hand job from her.
A hand job is what you heard.
I think so.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I heard he wanted a hand job from her during the massage.
A
but
happy
I
ending,
mean
huh?
this this
Yeah,
this lawsuit and this
man.
dude. Come on, man.
Look, man. Hey, look, man. We all know Vince McMahon is a hornball. This man tried to buy Playboy in 2001. Okay, you know what his mind is.
But there is nothing wrong with being a freak. There's nothing wrong with it.
I
Well,
think
if
A lot
it
of
taking it
freaky
there,
crosses.
people out here.
I think it crosses a line though when you get to when you get to some of the things that she outlines in this lawsuit that Rita Chatterton outlined when she was talking about what happened with her when you using the promise of monetary gain and
hmm
advancement and stuff like that to coerce people. Well, now, and in this lady's case, she further into this, and we'll get to that in a little bit. She
Mm,
states that he was using her as contractual negotiations. Hey, part of his re signing package, whoever this superstar was that they described, is for you to do whatever he asked sexually if you so or whatever that's a totally different scenario altogether. Now
And the
we getting
fact that
into trafficking.
he wanted to
What
know every
happened?
detail.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
That's
So I
weird.
mean, but I'm going back to what y'all was saying about it's nothing wrong with it being to Jacory's point, there's nothing wrong with being freaky dicky. If that's your cup of tea, fine. But then when you get to some of the stuff, like if you go to page 21, sections 108 to 110, she outlines like the aggressive, acts that she was forced to endure or whatnot. It says like he began to degrade her, calling her his bitch while hinting at a fascination with having other people watch them engage in sexual activity. Additionally, this complaint details encounters during which McMahon caused Miss Grant to sustain physical injuries, including bleeding and pain from forceful use of sex toys. Despite her
Mm.
plea to cease any further sexual activity, the number of encounters increased, as did McMahon's physical aggression during them. Notably, McMahon was most aggressive when using certain toys named after male WWE wrestlers and performers.
That's
McMahon
excuse.
named the toys, yeah, so that the color of the toy matched the race of the wrestler. For example, a black
Yeah.
dildo would be named after an African American wrestler, and a white dildo would be named after a Caucasian wrestler. In
Uh,
addition to McMahon's infatuation with pretending that other men, and namely certain WWE talent, were in the room with them, this was yet another incremental step in desensitizing Miss Grant to his fantasy and eventual demands that she perform sexual acts for and or have sexual contact with others within the WWE. So
That is
that's weird.
completely weird.
that goes back to what I was saying. There's nothing wrong with being freaky deaky. So he named his dildo New Jack. It makes no difference. There's nothing wrong with being freaky deaky.
What about the lady's well being? I mean, if she's telling you that she having problems is that you know what?
Man, I believe she was freaky dicky as well. Because when you get to the text
Oh
messages, which
man.
we will get to, she was for it.
Oh man. I'm taking the
She
back.
was
I was
freaky
thinking.
deaky. I think this lady is just upset that the money stopped.
Oh wow.
Well, there was never any there was never any money apparently. I think she received that $1 million payoff from the
And she thought
NBA
she
and
was
didn't
gonna
get the
get
rest
more, and
of
it
it.
never came.
Well,
She
they
thought she
also
was
said,
getting more, and it never came.
didn't she have like a $200,000 salary at one point when she
Yeah,
took a
when she
position?
was getting
Yep,
she was the vice president, I think, of talent relations or something like that.
yep.
But that
The
Something,
that
people
yeah.
in
that
talent
position,
department.
but that position was that was basically a made up position in order for her to perform sexual acts at the beck and call and behest of John Laurinaitis,
Yeah.
which again, that according to the lawsuit, this is all in the lawsuit, but
Right.
that's what that was supposed to be for. So I mean, did, were you really making $200,000, or were you just being, for lack of better words,
Traffic.
traffic? There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit
So
of both. They claim they
I
were
mean,
grooming her for that position, but really, it's like you said, they just put her in that position. So anytime John Laurinaitis called her, she would be right there, easy access.
Yeah.
So
well,
Yeah.
Vince
I
McMahon
mean,
wanted to stick her with a John Cena and stuff.
well,
That's it.
but let's get to the photos and text since we brought it up. I
Oh
mean,
gosh, the screenshots of text messages.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if I want to read this on the air, but let's do the photo sharing first.
Yeah.
So on page 24, sections 127 through 132, it outlines how he starting on March 26, 2020 is the first date that they list. He sent a lengthy message to her describing circumstances around sharing explicit photographs to former WWE referee, which they outline as WWE referee, to not use name. Now, there's no hint or nothing at who this is, and we'll talk about that later. If this does become a criminal thing, there may be some unsealing, and you start getting names. But
Oh yeah.
Right.
right now, it's
Right.
just called WWE referee. You know, and how he basically explained to her how the referee left to basically masturbate to the photos that he was sharing around the WWE workplace or whatnot. And then she told him that she didn't believe he would do such a reckless thing or whatever. But when she told him that she wasn't quite comfortable and had apprehension about sharing her photos with someone, he was like, it was to assure the WWE referee's loyalty to him. I
What?
mean, yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it says. It says when she voiced apprehension about McMahon sharing naked photos of her with someone she did not know, McMahon's
Mhm.
response was not to comfort her, but to assure her of WWE referee's loyalty to him. That's what's in the lawsuit.
Wow. Oh yeah, that name's gonna come out, especially when it goes to trial. This is definitely going to trial.
Yeah. Well, right now, I believe it's civil. It's just
Well, no.
accusations at the moment.
The
As of
feds
today,
involved now.
as of today, the Fed they are open a federal investigation for sex trafficking and other things that they are listing in there. That would be criminal. And if it's criminal, then you're probably talking about releasing the phone records, verification of who it
Right.
was. There's a lot of WWE executive or employee one, two, three, four, UFC champ, WWE referee. Who are we talking about? Now you start getting subpoenas and stuff issued to try to pull people out and say, what did you know about this? How much did you know? How far into this were you participating, or were you privy to or complicit in?
Right.
This changes the game. A civil
Mm-hmm.
suit, you could have paid it off and made it go away, which is that's all we're reading from right now is a civil suit. It's civil. As of today, that has changed. Whether he pays her out or not, they may actually perform and according to this, if you get to the very end of this lawsuit, they don't want a settlement. They want it to go to trial themselves so that
Right.
they can start calling names.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, me and Keaton talked about this when we first learned about it. We found out today another news story that broke You can find it on I think it's vice.com we were looking at today.
I think so.
Yeah, it's vice.com. John Laurinaitis' lawyer is saying that he was a victim in this just like she was.
Yes, I saw that.
Trying to flip.
It says here or whatever. Um, if you go to vice.com, the title of the article is Co-defendant in Vince McMahon sex trafficking lawsuit says he was a victim too. And
Yep.
then if you go, it says that his further down, it said that Laurinaitis' role as described in the I'm sorry, I read the wrong thing. Vince McMahon and WWE itself appeared to corroborate central claims in the suit in a statement to Vice News today while disputing Laurinaitis' role as described in the complaint.
Mm.
Edward Brennan, the lawyer, said that his client is himself a victim, just like plaintiff Janelle Grant, a former WWE employee.
Ah, it sounds to me like John is trying to throw Vince under the bus.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
definitely he getting
if it means
scared.
jail time,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and
You
for
getting
people saying, well, what does John Laurinaitis have to do with this? If you do not know, we'll get to that later on. But if it's going criminal, he's listed as a co-defendant in this lawsuit. Y'all both can technically be prosecuted.
Hmm.
I'm gonna
absolutely.
save myself first. Like, hey, I didn't have nothing to do with this. I was told if I didn't participate, I'd lose my job too.
But not the way that she explained this stuff. It's like there's no way you can like sidestep that when you talk about things that happen in the office that I'm going to get to. Those details, it's like those are damning details. And then you have plenty of people who known him for years who already came out in past interviews that they've done in like the past 6 months, and they talked about John Laurinaitis. They're like, yeah, that dude's just a creep, just as much a creep as Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Like this, Theodore Long did a interview, and I got a part of what he said that explains what so-called John Laurinaitis, Mr. Innocent Victim, uh, does on a regular. He said, "Well, if I've heard that, I've never really seen it outright. I've never seen him really approach none of the girls like that, but I've seen him in bars when he got to drinking a little bit and got fresh with some of the guys." And I saw that in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We were there at a bar, and I saw him after he was drinking. He was flopping all over the girls that were in the bar. So I don't offhand know if he did it, but I certainly believe it. He used his power to gain more than he was supposed to. He used his power for himself too. That's
But
what Teddy Long said.
I'm
Yeah, I
I
believe it.
mean, man, but we've heard stories for years of certain people that are higher up within that company that are very close to, Vince having whether it's hey shady dealings allegedly or coercion or politics. There's been
Yeah,
all kinds of stories back and forth about certain things and what goes on behind closed door. This right here is just the first time you're seeing a curtain really pull back. Because yeah, he got in trouble for the paying off, this I think it was like 17 million or something like that in WWE funds to other people with for NDAs.
yeah,
Nobody ever came out and was this graphic. And I think,
Mm.
this is an alleged lawsuit.
Yep.
This has got a lot of detail in it that kind of details allegedly what transpired for 2 years. 2 years. This is, and pulling the curtain back, I think what's more damning than anything in this whole suit is these text messages. Now,
yeah.
obviously,
That's
they got
the
to be
receipts are
verified.
very
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what the hell? I did
Yeah.
either of y'all take and highlight the text or no?
Yeah. I,
142
I
is the
have a
one
couple of
that
them
made me
myself.
giggle.
Man,
142 just that just surprised me. That threw me off. The text message.
Man, for me, it was 159, man. Like
Yeah.
that just backs up what I said because on a lot of these texts, it's not doing her any favors either.
oh,
Oh,
you
the
mean the
defense
one where
definitely
she
gonna have a
say
field day
give
with
her
that one.
another week or whatever? You said 158.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
158, 159. She's not doing herself any favors with these texts, and I don't think she should include them.
Well, only one of them had a response from her. Again, I don't want to read the text
Yeah.
on if you want to know where they are, it's section 158 on page 32. It's section 147 on page 29. It's section 138 on page 27. The one you said, Keaton, was 143.
Yeah, the
I'm
one
sorry.
about the
Yeah,
3 big black dicks in all 3 of the holes and stuff.
Oh,
yeah. I don't.
three
I
of them.
That's what he
I
wanted to see.
I don't
Oh,
That's what he wanted
understand
to
the.
see.
I
freaking
don't understand.
DK.
Yeah, he
I
wanted
don't.
her going against the nation domination. That's what he wanted.
Little Mark
But
Henry in her, you know.
Exactly.
I don't get the racial innuendo with it. What
Well, from
is
what
there a thing with that?
it's a thing with Vince McMahon. It's a thing with Vince McMahon. Have you ever heard why he hired Gail Kim? Like how Jim Ross got him to hire Gail Kim?
I
No.
heard the story. He said something about he found. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the full details. Probably when you start talking about it, I would. But it was something about attraction and Asian Americans or something like that.
Yeah, you're in the right ballpark. It was like Jim Ross wanted to hire her because she had great talent, but Vince
Yeah,
McMahon was
she's a
like,
real good wrestler.
yeah,
She
Vince
is.
McMahon told him, "Are you sure you want to hire this Asian girl?" And Jim Ross had to tell him basically like, well, a lot of American guys like Asian porn, so that could be a nice audience to tap into, and that's why he hired her because she looked like
But
someone off of Asian porn.
again,
Yeah.
maybe we just never paid attention. I can recall when Jim Cornette was talking about when he brought in Mark Miro, who was Johnny B. Bad in WCW, and
Mhm.
he met Sable for the first time. Like there was an infatuation with her in white panties all the time or whatever, you know. But then you
Oh
start
gosh.
looking at this, you it's a very famous excerpt. If you go to YouTube and you type Jim Cornette Sable and listen to his description of her, it comes up. And he was like he never understood what they was infatuated with, but every time they would have creative shows or whatnot, it was either a wet t-shirt spot or white panties thing. I got a question though. When
Yeah.
Attitude Era WWE was, well, WWF at the time, y'all remember all the wet t-shirt contests and
Yes.
Oh yes, I do.
here
Yeah.
you go. Can you
Yes,
focus for
Lord, I
one
do.
second?
I
Yeah,
am focusing.
Yeah.
You
come.
taking me back right now.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember the Sable spot? This is for all the men that want to see me and the women that want to be me. That
Wanna be me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yes,
I
Lord.
you know what?
I
What I'm
did.
trying to
Mm.
get to here is perverts. What I'm trying to get to here is uh yeah, the fucking now have some class. Sheesh. Uh dude, was that a idea conceived by him? Is it because for a long time women were doing less wrestling. I remember the women's title used to be on the line doing a bra and panties match or a wet t-shirt match. That used
Yeah.
to be a women's championship match.
Yeah, yeah.
There
But
was no
it was
wrestling.
needed. It was needed for that time frame because they weren't looking for a childlike audience. They were looking for grown ass men, and
Right.
grown ass men want to see some fighting and some titties.
And they
I'm
did
sorry.
have a huge college presence too. Like a lot of the audience was college kids too
Yeah.
I
around
mean, a
that
lot
time.
of
So
we grown men, and they still got a large demographic of 18 to 35 or whatever it is. It that hasn't changed. Most
they
people
do.
that's
They
No.
do.
wrestling alive
No.
now are grown
They
men
they, they
like
got
me,
they,
you,
they
of
had
course.
John Cena coming out looking like Barney. They looking for kids now.
No, I think that was more of a John Cena playing too, because he changed everything about himself when he was Doctor Thugonomics.
Yeah.
You got to remember the attitude adjustment. That was called the FU.
If
Remember,
you,
he used to
yeah.
have he used his submission hold was the STD or whatever, or STF. They
STFU.
changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
STD.
like they changed. I don't remember what the fuck it was called because it's been so long ago. But that was my favorite rendition of
Yeah.
John's. Fuck off, STD,
Yeah.
STF.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Fuck you.
I did
STFU.
like the
Yeah.
doctor. Yeah, I did like him.
And
That's what
he's
everybody
coming
liked
out.
him.
He's coming out with the chains and the fucking
Yeah, the
the
chain gang
promos and the
stuff. Yeah.
Bag of
jerseys and
nuts.
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
he was provocative. They
Yeah.
changed. He sanitized this character, and that's when he started doing Make a Wish and stuff. I don't know. That might have been a joint effort, honestly.
It's
But
like
I
that
they
era during the Thugonomics era, that was a different. That was also a different era. That was a ruthless aggression
ruthless
era.
aggression.
hmm
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that
that's
was a
true.
different time as well.
It basically turned John Cena into Hulk Hogan.
But circling
Yeah.
back to what I was saying, do you think that a lot of that were undertones for what the hell he's been looking at.
As far as like how the women were back then.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because even if you look at like say the Diva search, remember the Diva search?
Yeah.
Kinda.
That
It's been a
was
long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was just a excuse to get women in bikinis.
Yeah, I
Those
think that's
women
where
couldn't
I
wrestle.
remember.
Christy Heyman came from, isn't it?
Christy Hemme and the Bella Twins
Yeah.
I
came from
remember.
the Diva search.
Ooh, we gonna get to them in a second. I remember. I remember a story I think Jacqueline told about how she exposed her breast
Ooh,
On a
Jacqueline.
pay-per-view.
on
I seen that.
television one time because she said Vince told her to, if I'm not mistaken. Now I
Yep.
listened to this a long time ago, and I was like, what? Like it's when you get to really reading this and you start thinking about all the things you've heard over the years, you kind of like, motherfucker, maybe he's been
Yeah.
allegedly been like this the whole fucking time. What am I missing?
He's been
I just
smart
never
the
looked
whole
at him like
time.
this.
Yeah,
That was smart thinking.
yeah.
What
It
you
was
For
was
him to
saying,
needed,
just
Marquise?
and it did its job. It was needed.
he would really disguise his appetite, his sexual appetite in his storylines.
Yeah, he
He
did.
really would.
He definitely did. But he's a freaky diggy.
He is. He's a definitely a freaky dicky.
But
I
But
I
being
mean,
do
this
I do
freaky
remember that
dicky,
Jacqueline match, and it was a good match. Her versus Sable, I think it was, and Sable ripped her top off. I remember that match at a pay-per-view.
I remember that too.
see, she could actually, her and Ivory could actually wrestle, and
Nobody looking at
they were
Ivory,
actual
man.
talents.
Nobody looking at
Oh man,
Ivory.
I'm talking about the wrestling ability.
I wasn't looking at wrestling there. I didn't want to see Ivory do a hold properly.
No. Ivory has always looked 80 the whole time she's wrestled.
She was, but she actually was older doing the attitude era. She had been in women's wrestling or I think it was called Glow or something like that. She was like
Yeah.
in that for years before she came over. She wasn't that young when when she
But
started. I think she
Jacqueline
was in her
wasn't that
30s.
young either when she started,
No,
but
she
she still
wasn't.
looked
I think
great.
she was in Glow too.
Yeah.
But no, the text, and then even with the text, like I'm like Vince McMahon text like this. Like
That's
this
what
is
I was saying.
terrible. Like it. I'm wondering if Vince got some like is something wrong with him? And I mean like health wise, is he? I has years of whatever the hell he took or didn't take or lack of sleep or whatever the hell, because you hear crazy stories about how he sleeps 3-4 hours a day and shit.
Mm.
Has that just taken a toll on him? And I mean, because you
No.
you see him texting with you as YOU as the letter U
B.
and then B. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is he saying?
No, man. It's been said by a couple of the other talent that Vince McMahon is a man's man. He will joke with you. He'll play around with you. That's the type of person he is. So I can definitely see him sending these type of text messages because he is a man's man. You know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just like a random person sending a what they call them, a penis pic. Just like somebody sending one of those. I feel Vince McMahon would send a penis pic.
To another
Ooh,
man?
No, not
speaking
to
of
another
that,
man, to a female. I can see him, spitting game in his texts.
yeah, speaking of that, now that the feds got a hold of it, will those come out? Like,
They
because
gonna
I'm
have
pretty
to. They
More than
sure.
gonna they gonna
likely,
pull them
I
phone
guarantee there
records.
are a few of them.
Yeah, they gonna pull them phone
And
records.
then
You can believe that.
let's say if she has like a medical record from, because she said what she was bleeding from the forced penetration and everything like that. If
Well,
she
I
has
mean,
medical
more
records to
than
back
that,
that up,
she's also claiming PTSD, pain and
Yeah,
suffering, emotional trauma and duress. Like
that's
she's
all
like she
valid.
can barely leave her house
yeah,
most days or whatnot from the things that were done to her or
yeah.
whatnot. She
Yeah.
had, she got another job and she was like she couldn't even do that. She claiming $80,000 of lost wages a year off of that.
Mhm.
I mean, according to her, she's never been the same. And based on what if these allegations are true that are outlined in this lawsuit, would any woman or man for that matter be that way? You know,
Mhm.
um, I mean, but yeah, the threesomes started on page 26.
Mhm.
That's when I believe she starts mentioning John Laurinaitis, who was at the time I think what was it head of talent relations.
Yep.
Well, I actually started with with Vince McMahon's physical therapist first too. You look right over
Oh
there,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that
You know
same,
what? You're right.
yeah,
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
because
The
John
physical
Laurinaitis,
therapist.
yeah, because John Laurinaitis was just one of the steady ones, but you remember in one of the text messages, Vince McMahon was trying to set her up with other people too,
Mm,
Yeah,
and he wanted
that's
her
true.
to bring back all the details. So that's where
mm.
the
What the hell
trafficking
would
thing
you
comes
want
in.
details for? Listen, let me
He's
say
freaky
something.
dicky.
How many
Li-
times I got to tell you he freaky dicky?
Man, listen.
He
Okay.
with the shits.
If I'm
Literally,
if I'm
literally.
gonna if I
I get
if
that
I
one.
want to be sexually aroused or whatnot, I'm not finna do it. You know, why the hell would I want to visualize somebody else doing it when you can just? That makes no sense to me. That sounds crazy as hell.
Hey, what's for him ain't for everybody. You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
okay.
That's true.
Look, everybody got their vices. Everybody got their little freaky deaky things they like to do. Yeah. Or R.
And,
Kelly like to pee on people, apparently.
exactly.
Well, in
Everybody got
his
their little
case, he
vices.
likes the shit on your head. I mean, that's in here. You
I think
know,
they call it a steamroller, ain't it?
man, what
I
the
think that's what
fuck?
they call it.
Get the fuck out of here. What's wrong
That's
with
a
you?
mudslide.
You know what I'm saying?
And then, not to offend any people, but you're not the right color to understand that neither.
Yeah,
So
that
certain
that is
people,
correct.
certain people like certain names. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I don't want to see what they call it, cuckolding. Cuckold.
I wanna get to the head shit in peace. Look, page 26, section 135 through 137. On the day of the threesome with the physical therapist, which was May 9th, 2020. This is during the pandemic. Okay. Miss Grant showed up to the condo, but reiterated she did not want to go through with the act. She expressed fear of being thrown around like a rag doll by Mcmahon and physical therapists. After
Wow.
Miss Grant clearly stated she wanted to back out, McMahon responded by telling Miss Grant for the first time that he loved her, stunning her into silence. McMahon's manipulative tactic resulted in the outcome he wanted, and he led her down the stairs to the bedroom where physical therapist was already waiting to begin the threesome. Early in the encounter, McMahon immediately directed Miss Grant to lay down on her back in a supplicating position. While straddling over her, McMahon defecated on Miss Grant's head. McMahon
Mm,
left to shower her off, but instructed her to remain in place with excrement in her hair and to continue performing for his friend. While Miss Grant requested protection, none was offered. McMahon and
mm,
physical therapist actively continued with the threesome and directed Miss Grant's sexual performance for around an hour and a half while she was
Wow.
left covered in feces.
Oh my
You
God.
got to be one sick. And again, this is allegedly from a
mm.
lawsuit. If this is true, you have to be one sick motherfucker. First of all, I don't know how you put up with the smell, but
Yeah.
what the
Man,
fuck? Like,
I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't believe that shit.
I
what?
was just about to say that because
I don't believe that shit.
I was going to Ja'Cory's point from earlier about the whole thing of consent. It seemed like after he said "I love you," she consented to it in a
Yep.
way
Which is
because
something that
You
happens
don't
all the
think?
time. Guys
So
use it all the time.
y'all don't think it's a? We do, but don't we all know deep down inside it's a manipulative tactic majority of the time to get someone?
they don't
Hey,
know that
hey,
though.
hey, we didn't say she was smart. We just said she was down with it.
Oh,
You hear me?
But still, for you to sit there while shit coming, there's some bit of consent doesn't make it right.
Yeah, no, it don't. It don't.
I'm just looking at it from the point of what the defense is gonna say
man,
when they're cross-examining her.
whether you crazy or not crazy, or whether you could or could not get up or do something about this, no human being deserves to be shat on.
Oh, absolutely not. No,
Like
that's some
I mean, you
that's
got
just
to be,
nasty.
yeah, like that. What the hell? How? I don't get how that. If I am participating in a three-way whatever the fuck, You pull that shit, it's gonna be some furniture moving. Like I know you didn't just get up on your
No,
ass and
not look at here now. For what all she was getting, hey, you can shit on me. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie to you. You can shit on me for what she was getting because I ain't got half of it. And you know what I'm saying?
you
I
don't.
sit in the toilet and don't get nothing.
But as a listen,
I'm about to throw my headphones, bro.
as a
I,
man,
I ain't gonna lie to you. You can shit on me. Yeah, for 200. What she got? 200,000 a month. You can shit on me. Yep.
what did you get a month? That was an annual salary,
Or
fool.
that's annual. You still can shit on me. I ain't getting that. Oh
You ain't
yeah.
got no sense in your damn
I
head.
I don't have none, but right now I'm trying to get shit on by
We
Vince McMahon.
listen for if you in a three-way situation and
Mhm.
another man is you, another man, and somebody. All right, let's put it like that. And that other person was to pull their pants down and start shitting everywhere. You telling me you ain't gonna have a problem with that?
He got to pay too. I hope the
Get the
therapist
fuck
had to
out of
pay
here.
something too.
Get the fuck out
At
of
the
here.
same time, but Vince McMahon, he could have went to China. He could have went overseas where they do that shit at, and they had a whole group of women that they'll let you shit on their chest for $100,000.
Mm,
But for him to, I think the problem comes in is he made her take that, and then for them to, the
Well,
thing will really
evidently,
get,
if this is to be believed, this motherfucker knew it was wrong because he went and showered right after. Now, I don't want the shit on me,
but she
but you lay
came
there
back
and
afterwards though.
she did come
no,
back.
no, y'all misunderstand. You mean after the whole
No, I'm talking
encounter?
about after that whole encounter, she came back.
Hmm.
I, I mean, listen. All I can do is read what's on here. All right,
I'm
I
just
can't
saying,
read
it's
nobody's
some
mind.
it's some things that the defense are gonna have a field day with because they were like, well, ma'am, they're gonna be like, man, that's a bit of sexual assault, or is this
Yeah,
plain old assault? Why didn't you inform the police?
yeah,
So it's
definitely.
like,
And like I said, a lot of this isn't gonna do her any favors. She's
But
gonna
it
have to
says
leave
in
some of this stuff out of there.
139.
yeah,
McMahon pressured Miss Grant into several additional threesomes in large part because she felt she had no other choice, particularly after the comments that he had personally ensured that she had not lost her job. So prior to this, they were furloughing employees because of the pandemic. He
Mhm.
called
okay, yeah,
her
that kind of
and
saves her a little
personally
bit. The
said,
pandemic.
yeah, he said, I made sure you did not lose your job. And then these threesomes followed that. So
Mhm.
if she's
Oh,
really there,
okay.
if she's really there
He
for
feels
financial,
obligated now.
yeah, she feels there's an obligation to do this. I think the section where he told her that he hold on, I'm looking.
Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. But I feel I feel she was in on it. She was in on it.
I think it got beyond her comfort level.
Yeah, I think it got out of
Yeah.
control and
Yeah, I
It's
escalated.
just
also think it got out of control, but I think it was something for something.
Okay,
He was giving
section
something, she
130.
was giving something.
131. Shortly after, McMahon surprised Miss Grant with the news that he had protected her job from a furlough that
Mm.
WWE would imminently announce. The furlough affected a large number of employees, and McMahon emphasized that he personally made sure that she would not be one of them, reinforcing her dependency on him, particularly after the majority of the support staff in the legal department were furloughed.
Mm.
The threesomes followed shortly thereafter.
mm,
So, I mean, you know, you pulling strings every which way. If we get further into this lawsuit, he actually was going to promote her to vice president in the
yeah.
talent relations department. But he
Yeah, I did
told
see that.
her, we going to change the title so that it doesn't look suspicious that you all of a sudden make a jump from just a regular person to a VP with no experience and no time in. So nobody, they made her director of operations. So
Hmm.
she getting paid. So hey, I'm gonna give you a promote. It's no different than the lady that I think blew the top off of it the first time when he had to step down. Before all of this, she was saying that the paralegal. Yeah, and it's
From
always in the legal
2006,
department. Yeah, I think it's from
I think
2006
it was,
or
yeah,
whatever.
2006.
Yeah, I think so. She was like that. She was given a position and told, "Hey, you'll be taken care of," or whatever the fuck. Dude. I mean, you're there's a level of coercion here somewhere, if this is to be believed, if the allegations are to be believed, this is manipulation and coercion. Hey, you said you wanted a job, because it outlines in the suit several times. She kept saying, I want to feel like I'm doing something. I need my job,
Mm-hmm.
this, that, and the third. Well, okay, I'm giving you a promotion. You got job security. I'll make sure you don't get fired. Like, you almost feel like you obligated to do this.
Yeah, because he kind of
No.
just kept only booking her for like, according to the text messages, like only threesomes.
Yeah.
He kept just only wanting her to do threesomes, and she didn't really have a choice. He was just straight up setting it up for, hey, this day such and such coming through. Let me know what happened, detail by
Mm-hmm.
detail.
Yeah.
So that,
So I mean, the theory that there was some complicity in it, I kind of got to side with Keith, that maybe at the very beginning it wasn't. So it's like, well, all right, I don't like it, but later on it was like, I don't want to do this at all. And according to this lawsuit, it was said multiple times, I don't want to do this. Please stop, help. No, I'm good. Nobody was listening to that. Even
yeah,
after she signed the NDA, there was one last encounter where she, what where it states that she was like, no, please, no, and he's just ignored
yeah,
that.
I feel like she was okay, somewhat okay when it was just him. Then when he
Mm-hmm.
started bringing other people, that's when she was like, all right, cool. Yo, hold up, wait, I'm not down with this. This is too much.
Right.
Because we
Right.
do get to a point later where she does, in a way, put her foot down as far as dealing with John Laurinaitis.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, but that was, it almost rendered moot, because it's like, oh no, it'll be fine. Crazy thing is, there's a text message in this lawsuit that he is talking to her allegedly about John Laurinaitis running his mouth and telling people about what's going on and stuff if he got to drinking or whatever the case may be, I believe. So, I don't know if I'm
I,
surprised about the "I'm a victim just like she is" statement from today.
yeah, yeah, because everyone says that when John Laurinaitis gets drunk, he does stupid stuff. So I believe that. I definitely believe it. He's definitely not getting off the hook. I don't know why he even attempted to do that. That's straight stupidity.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel the same.
So the trafficking allegations start on page 30. And basically it starts outlining how she was being trafficked to Laurinaitis or whatnot, to perform sexual acts and have sex with him by, you know, Vince. And uh 152 was pretty damning, because it said, despite Miss Grant's repeated statements that she did not consent to threesomes with McMahon and physical therapist, McMahon advertised that to others and told her that she had found another person to join them, and it listed John Laurinaitis' name. And so after that, in November or whatever, he started making her send photos and videos to him or whatever. And then in December, right before the new year or whatever, a threesome was arranged between McMahon and Laurinaitis and Miss Grant at McMahon's condo. McMahon instructed her to tell Laurinaitis that she was a neighbor and girlfriend working in the legal field, but not at WWE. I never quite understood why he kept trying to keep this secret. It almost like, if this is to be believed and this is true, you willingly knew what the hell you were doing the entire time. That
Mm-hmm.
you knew this. So I don't understand what you would. Let's dive into that for a second. What the fuck were you thinking?
He could
Yeah.
have kept it to himself. And he kept on booking her for triple threat matches and shit and stuff, wanting to spread the fun. This is just ridiculous. He got real sloppy with it. He got comfortable and then he got sloppy
Did
I
you
because he
say
mean,
started
triple
sharing the
threat
photos.
matches?
Yeah, triple threat matches.
is that what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, he was
Y'all, you
booking
know
up for
what,
triple
man?
threat matches.
I like that. I like that.
I'm just
Book
This
me a
saying.
lady,
couple triple threat matches.
this
You
lady
know,
was
it's
suffering, and
it's
y'all up here.
no, it's YouTube friendly. Some things you can't say on YouTube because then they gonna try to take shit down. So triple threat matches, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, she wanted an Iron Man
He
match.
put
He
this
put up
woman,
triple match.
allegedly he put her on a shift schedule. Like,
Yeah,
these on 158 the text message was like, Johnny wants Tuesdays, but not this coming one and the occasional Saturday,
that's
but maybe
crazy.
I can shift it to Thursday nights. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the hell? So, okay, let's get into the trafficking thing. Here's the biggest question
Hmm.
I have. Did you make her or coerce her into having sex with someone or sent her to have sex with them across state lines? If you did, that is a federal offense. I think it violates a law
Look,
called the Mann Act.
well, he did actually because
Yeah.
in one of the in one part, I forgot what part it is, but remember he said that he required her to go to John Laurinaitis's hotel
Hotel
room
room for
every morning
breakfast.
for breakfast. So that was in different cities on the road.
Breakfast being sexual activity for the
So
people who wondering what the hell we talking about.
exactly. So that is across state lines. So that is trafficking across state lines. So he does violate what you said, the Mann Act. Yeah.
I believe that's what it's called, is the
Yeah.
Mann Act. If that's the case, it's probably why the federal investigation that came out literally
Exactly.
today has kicked off. Because if you trafficking somebody across state lines and they can prove that, you in a
Yeah.
world of trouble. There ain't
And
no
the
payoff for that.
and these text
Yeah.
messages are solid with that.
Yeah, they
If they
are.
can be verified that it was actually his phone number, I'm sure they would have to do that. But if this was actually him and they can pull them phone records, you don't have a leg to stand on. Regardless to Jacori's theory about, okay, so because that same message I just read, that's the statement where she was like, give me a week or whatever. But what choice does the woman have at this point? I mean,
She has every choice to up and leave. What do you mean? She's a grown woman.
well, okay, obviously there is that, but I'm saying in the sense of, okay, leave what, like the WWE, or leave
Yeah,
talking to
like
him?
to get out of the situation, period. I mean, to get out of the situation would mean you would have to leave the WWE as well. But she didn't want that. She liked being in the power. She was granted. She liked the money, and to get all this, she had to be passed around. In the military, I think we called them dorm rats.
Oh
We
wow.
pass them around. But that I feel that's what she was, and I feel that she knew that's what she was, because it's looking more and more like that as you read on through.
Ooh.
She played her part, and when it was done and her part was done, she wasn't for it. She didn't like that. My money stopped. He's not paying me. He only paid me 1 million. Where's the rest of it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna take you for all of it.
But
Wow.
Vince
I
has
mean,
had a
she.
Vince has a Vince apparently has a hit. But if you actually go back and look at old school wrestling, just getting out of this for a second, Vince has
Mhm.
done this to people or promoters before. What? Hey, I'm going to pay you, allegedly pay you in, installments to buy out your territory. He might make a couple payments and then he don't.
Yeah.
It's a lot of promoters. I didn't get what I was promised. Or, oh, after this ain't new. You
Hey,
know,
that's just business. It's bad business, but it's business.
At the same time, this whole saga with him and Janelle didn't end until what, 20
2022. Right? No, it was,
2022?
yeah, 2022. And I think
Yeah.
23 is when they kind of finalized everything. She never got the rest of the payoff.
Okay, well then that does give some validity to what Corey is saying. The money
Oh
stop,
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
start talking. Money stop, I start
Yeah,
talking.
but if you signed a NDA that says I agree to pay $3 million in payments or whatnot, and I don't get the rest of it, then that negates the NDA at that point. So then, yeah, I can
And
talk.
then
Guess
how
what?
much is your
You paying for
self-respect
silence.
really worth? How much
Yeah.
is your self-respect worth? How much is your mental health worth?
Yeah.
And she says she was scared about the whole thing.
Mhm. Well,
So I
according to
mean,
her, it was worth 3 million. According to her, that's what she wanted.
she wanted that a year or
No,
No,
he was supposed to
that was
pay her
the
three. I think it
NDA.
was three installments of a
Yeah,
million, and would come out to three
I believe
million
it
in
was a
total, I
million. Yeah.
believe. So she was she was worth 3 million. Is what she wanted,
wow.
and she wasn't gonna say nothing. Which really, Most of this, I think she just buttered it up to make it, make it sound good, get a good case. Because in a civil suit, you only need about 50% of it to be
Well,
proven.
here's why I disagree with you about this. If there was, if there wasn't any validity to this, do you think they would have made Vince McMahon resign for as executive chairman?
Yes, because it's bad business. You don't want his name incorporated with that, especially if you just started this TKO stuff. You don't want
Okay,
him in there. And,
but
and
what
Vince
about
McMahon
what?
resigned on himself because of that fact.
Okay, what about the whole thing today with Laurinaitis? He basically then validated the story because he's saying he was a victim too. That means there's some truth here somewhere.
It's
Well,
it's some truth that they slept together, I'm sure.
yeah.
But John Laurinaitis is just trying to get himself out of trouble. He's trying to throw Vince under the bus. John Laurinaitis is scared. He's scary. He don't want to go in jail with them new jacks. He don't want to go in there. You know what I'm
For the
saying?
Warriors.
He don't want to
But
go in there. He's scared. I understand. I understand he's scared.
and then you got
White
to
man
think
with a voice like his, he don't want to be in there.
people power to a different.
People power. He don't want that.
Well, I mean, I'm
Well,
not.
these are the second allegations they had in less than a year,
Yeah,
too. The both of them.
that's another thing.
But
And
the one thing that troubles me that is making me lean more to Chikori's side,
mhm.
she filed it as a civil suit instead of a criminal suit.
Cause she wants something
Where
out of it.
exactly when
She
they go
wants something out
civil,
of it.
they want that money.
And
They
I
want
think a lot of them wanted something out of it. Cause how many times has Vince McMahon been to jail for this shit? Not never.
someone.
They all want some money. They all
How many
taking the
times
money.
that? But I mean, we could say we could take and use that same thing for the steroid trial. I think in '94, he ain't go to jail for that either, and
He
that
did
was
not go to
federal.
jail for that.
He tried to send Hulk Hogan to jail for it though.
Yeah, that was federal. I mean, somebody else was gonna take the fall for that.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell he got from under that one, but
Yeah.
he don't have that same lawyer no more. So that's why he's in a rush to settle everything.
Yeah. But
But
how many
that
times?
is trouble.
How many times have we seen this though? Especially since the whole Me Too thing happened, we've seen it numerous times where women come out. You might get one or two of them that it might be true, but then it's like you get 15 more on top of that because they see this woman just got a bag. Oh, she got a bag. Maybe
Yeah.
I can get me a bag because
Well, I mean, now
I slept with the dude. You know what I'm saying?
now you're getting into the whole it ain't gotta be true, it just gotta be repeated thing in society today. But be that as it may, I mean, my what I'm not gonna question the validity of what she has in this lawsuit. I'm not gonna question the validity of what he did and didn't do. Again,
She definitely has a
I'm just
case.
reading. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just
Oh
reading
yeah.
the
She
suit.
got a case.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
definitely got a
I
case.
mean, from the suit, getting down to like page 38 when they first start talking about the WWE superstar or whatever. Now, speculation, we do not know, but speculation is what who was being described in here was, you know, for all intents and purposes, based on the whole. I think there was a comment in here about the former UFC champ or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Exactly. UFC.
It's
Yeah.
only two people I can think, three I can think of: Ronda Rousey, Cain Velasquez, and Brock Lesnar. Now
Hmm.
I don't know. Obviously, Cain Velasquez ain't in this conversation,
Yeah.
and Ronda Rousey's a woman, so by process of elimination, one would allegedly think that they are referencing Brock.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
apparently,
yeah.
there must be something to that because he was taken out the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
they don't have any plans, as far as I understand from the news. They don't have any plans or to use him or do anything with him anytime soon. So, I mean, what is the implication for Brock in this? Allegedly.
Well, they don't even confirm that Brock even like engaged with it. It just seemed like it was offered to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
it
I
says
think
here that it was part of the contract negotiations.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like they offered her to him, but it doesn't say like he accepted her or anything like that and had anything to do. But unless his name is that one that's blocked out on one of the text messages that was in
Right.
158
Yeah.
because it's a name that's blocked out saying called me
Yep.
this afternoon begging to eat you. And
Yeah, I
why
believe
is
that's
Vince
him.
McMahon so obsessed with hard dicks, man? What's wrong with this
Because,
dude?
I
man,
don't know.
you know what I'm saying? He
Well,
got a little
one
fetish. He got a
when
little
it
mandingo fetish.
when they was talking about the well on page 39 or whatever, one of the things that stuck out was section 196. That night, McMahon texted Miss Grant a reminder that she was an enslaved object to him. I want to drive you lower and lower, so low that you might beg me to sell you.
Hmm.
Is that his brand of dirty talk to her?
I guess
What's her response?
there was none. That it doesn't list
Exactly.
a
She's
response.
not gonna put what she was putting back, especially if it's gonna implement her in any way. I need to know a response. I need to know a response to all these. Don't cut shit out. No, baby.
You
If
want to
you
see
gonna
the
put it
full
on the table,
transcript?
if you gonna put it on the table, put it
Now
all on the
it does,
table.
Keith, and to your point, it does say on 201 that same month, WWE superstar expressed to Miss Grant his desire to set a play date and have a sexual encounter. However, a snowstorm changed WWE superstar's travel plans, and Miss Grant ultimately used the weather and COVID-19 as an excuse to back out.
Mm.
She didn't want to give F5. I don't blame her. But see, that's another thing. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think she was okay when it was just Vince McMahon, but when he brought other people in, that's when it got uncomfortable
Right.
for her because that's the only time where she's trying to find a way out. In the first 3 months of it, where it was just her and Vince before she even got the job, it seemed like she was just a little timid. She was a little shy with him, but she went along with it. Now, once she started doing the triple threat matches and stuff and bringing other people in,
Why are you
that's
saying it
when
like that?
I'm trying to
You
censor it
got
for
to.
YouTube.
You
You
got
can't
to.
say any kind of you got to say SA. You can't say sexual assault. You got to say SA. You can't say the R word. You can't.
No,
No.
I'm saying like he's like triple threat matches. Like what the
Well, do
fuck?
you want me to call it brawl for all?
No, I don't
Go
worry
ahead.
about it.
The battle royal, fatal
I
four
like
way.
that one too. You feel me?
You know.
Yeah.
Elimination match. You
Well,
feel me?
I mean, man, and the Bellas actually made a statement, or came out with a statement about this recently too, or whatnot, and stuff about their sympathy for victims and stuff of that nature. I mean, John Laurinaitis is married to their mother. I wonder
Yeah.
what that's like right now.
I wonder what was the idea behind that too. Like, what was he
I
trying to do? That
I don't know. I mean, I keep saying, man, that where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, if you got people coming out all of a sudden saying, well, I was a victim too, and then somebody making a statement or whatnot, and then somebody else, having to resign, that's a lot of signals for there to be false allegations. Now again, right now, that's all we got: allegations and a lawsuit. That's all we
Hmm.
reading from.
Yeah.
But if I said that you know, if I said you ran over me with a car and you knew it wasn't true, are you gonna pay me, or are you gonna come out and say, well, Jacory was driving that car?
I'm gonna pay you.
that's true.
I'm gonna pay you. If I'm a big company, I'm gonna pay you because I don't need the bad publicity. I
Right.
mean, I just want to get it out the way. I know all you want is
Mm-hmm.
money, and I got a shitload. I'm gonna pay you. I'm not gonna miss that money, but I will feel damaged if you're slandering my name.
So do you
And
think if he
this is
had
on
a,
a
you
this
think,
is on a big a big a big platform right now. This is on New York Times. This is on the
Yeah.
Washington Post and other major media. You know what I'm saying? So
do you
this
think
is
if he had
hurtful.
a paid her the complete $3 million,
Oh,
he
she
would
wouldn't
have
have said
came
a
out?
word. She wouldn't have said a word.
She wouldn't have said shit, but she realized she wasn't getting nothing else. She wasn't having that. I'm not having that. All that wee I took, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. And I don't blame her. She did her part. You know.
I mean,
Oh
I
wow.
just so okay. Let's put this to bed. So big picture question: does Vince McMahon now, whether he's convicted, not convicted, whether we find out, God forbid, hey, there's nothing to this or whatever.
Mm.
What is Vince McMahon's legacy now? Does
He
he
is
have
done. He is done in the court of public opinion, and that's all that matters these days. The
Do
court
he
of
make
public
the
opinion.
do we get the Chris Benoit treatment?
Oh, they
No,
already started doing that.
no, not at all. Vince will be back, just like he came back the last time. He left for a
I
little
think
while.
him
When it
coming
died
back
down, he
is
slid back in.
what, but I honestly think him coming back is the cause of all this. Had he stayed out of the public eye and never returned, you probably wouldn't
And
have
when it
heard
came
nothing
back
about
up,
this. And if you
it
did, it wouldn't have been at this scale because he's basically in retirement at this point. I'm
it
a
was
retired old head
very
sitting at home.
telling. It was very telling when Stephanie left when he came back. It's like she knew some shit was coming. She got the
Yeah.
hell out of Dodge.
You really think she might know about
Oh,
this?
of course. Linda McMahon knew too. That
Yeah.
You
separates.
think
She
Triple H
she.
knew?
Oh
I
yeah,
feel
they
like
all
he
knew.
knew. Yeah, they all knew. They
They
knew about his
talking.
condo at the Trump Tower.
Well, Triple H's comments at the Royal Rumble press conference after the Rumble, he kind of just glazed past it. He didn't really dive too deep into it. He said he was doing everything he can to make sure the place that you know talent is at now is a good working environment. So I
Yeah.
mean,
He can care
if
fucking
it
less.
but
He in the position he want.
Oh yeah, oh
if
yeah.
it
Fuck
And
off.
plus, at the time, the shit was fresh. You
Yeah.
know,
but
it was
wait a minute.
fresh at the time. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Going back to what you just said, you say he in the position he wants. Yes, he is. But if it comes out in his criminal trial that he knew about it, do you think he's still in that position?
But that's plausible deniability, right?
Hmm.
Isn't it? Because
She got to prove that. She'd have to prove that. That's the
she
bill
would
No,
have
now.
to prove it.
no, I'm talking about not her, but when you go to when the feds get to investigating is how many people on the board and the higher executives in WWE knew about this? Did you know about it before the company was sold? Did you know about it after the company was sold? Did Nick Khan know about it? Did the CEO for TKO know about it? How many people knew
So
this was a thing?
that will have to come out
Yeah.
as far as like if they look into his history of messages and calls.
That's
Like
what
if
I'm
Hmm.
he
saying.
if
Hmm.
he
So what
shared
if
that
his
with
name
people over the
pops up?
phone,
What if his name pops up doing
oh
that
then
whole?
TKO gonna get rid of him too.
That's what I'm saying.
But I
So
Yeah,
then
don't
what
see
happens to wrestling?
I don't
but I
see
don't,
him.
I don't see them getting rid of him because it's not hurtful to know that two people on the job is fooling around. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
not
but it's
hurtful.
it's it's bigger than that. Triple H was on the board, but when they sold that company, so he knew. And if he knew, then by default you gotta assume his wife knew too. And then by default you probably gotta assume if this is all true allegedly that Nick Khan might have had some. The
Yeah.
board had to have known
I think
that
those
But
this was
three
how,
are in the
going
clear
on.
but
though.
how much did they know? That's what you got to prove.
Yeah.
They could easily say, "Oh, I seen them kiss once or twice," but how much did they know?
I think the main ones you gotta look at is Kevin Dunn, Bruce Pritchard.
Kevin
Yeah,
Dunn's gone.
Yeah, he's
He's in
gone. Bruce
retirement.
Priest about to be
Yeah.
gone, but still, I know those are his stooges. Those are the main two that if he wants to share something, he gonna share it with them.
oh
I
yeah,
don't, I don't,
especially Bruce.
I can't
yeah,
see.
I don't
Nah,
see
this
him
is something I
sharing
can't
it with
see
Triple
Bruce
H.
get. This is something I can't see Bruce getting down with. If this was really going on, I mean, I've listened to Bruce Pritchard's podcast. He just he
Bruce Prichard,
seems so that seems so out of character for him. I don't know, man. Now
never
I don't
know.
even know. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
locker room talk.
you never do know. You never do know.
but my biggest concern now is if it's going criminal and they start calling names. You gotta probably start looking at the possibility Triple H normally is not the chief content officer anymore. He ain't over that. What happens at WWE then?
It falls
That's
by
my
the
question.
wayside, but I don't see that happening because that he's married to his daughter. So why would he show him anything to jeopardize that? And he doesn't
Yeah,
want his daughter to know. He doesn't want
yeah,
Stephanie to know.
You don't think she didn't know this already?
I think she had an inkling from like hearing other
yeah,
people talk about it, but I
yeah.
don't think
Like
like she
Do
had
you think
direct knowledge.
Shane know that's why he left? I mean, this is all
no,
speculation, but
but I don't think anyone left because of it. I'm sure they knew a little bit to an extent, but ain't nobody leave because they knew that their dad was fooling around with someone else other than their mom because he's been doing that. I'm sure
Yeah,
he's been doing that. So no one left because of that. No.
yeah, I think he kept it directly in his circle of friends: John Laurinaitis, Kevin
Yeah.
Dunn, Bruce
Yeah,
Pritchard.
with the guys.
Yeah,
I'm
he
only
kept it
telling the
with these
guy.
guys.
Why would I tell my son-in-law that I'm
but
I'm knocking
okay,
off somebody else?
but not
Exactly.
necessarily. wait a minute, not necessarily him explicitly or directly telling them, but according to this suit, it was everybody like Vince shared this shit with the camera or the tech crew. He
Like
shared it
12
with
people.
like administrative employees. He shared it with referees. He shared it with talent. You don't think that filtered to other areas in there? That like somebody as high up as Triple H would know about it?
He
I
say,
think
she
he
say.
knew about it, but not like I don't think Vince McMahon was like, hey, yeah, look what I got this bitch doing. I don't think he did that, but I don't think he
Yeah,
did
if
it
he
with
say,
Triple
she
H.
say.
Like, no.
Now, I'm not saying Vince walked up to him and said that. I'm saying you don't think it resonated from different like oh man,
I believe everybody knew about it.
okay, so
But
then you're
it's
complicit.
no, it's one thing to know about it, but it's one thing to have direct knowledge. You can hear it in passing and just be like, okay, maybe
Man,
Vince maybe he's doing it, maybe he not. I
only
don't think it
thing
was
I'm
able to
trying to
confirm for them.
only thing I'm trying to drive home, the biggest thing for me in all of this, if his name come up, he's gone. We know y'all know that, right?
I think if anything, he's
No.
just gonna be called to testify.
Yeah, I
But
don't think he's
you're not
gone.
gonna get nothing because she doesn't name him. He's nowhere in there. Now the referee and everything like that, and the production people, yeah, they might, you know what I mean. And if he was dumb enough to send that to people as a direct message of any kind, an email or
Well,
text
and,
message,
and some people say his reaction or whatever to the questions at the press conference was kind of like that. What do you expect him to say? This is like
yeah,
it's my
damned if you do, damned
father-in-law,
if you
and
don't.
not only that, I'm running the company that he basically has. There's nothing he can do at this point. Now, I would have liked to hear him say, "Hey, look, he did to a degree. He's like, I'm focusing on the positives, and I'm making this place a better place to work. And we got things in place and stuff like that. This ain't. Yeah, he could have said something to the degree of the things that he's being accused of. I don't. That's
Yeah,
not the guy I know. I've never seen that side of him. Something to that degree, but he kind of just left it there.
but nobody
And
would
I
have
think
believed him
for
if he
him,
said, "Oh, that's not the guy I know." They wouldn't have believed him on that. But when they asked him, like, "What's are you guys doing to protect everyone else on the roster?" and he said, "We're doing everything we can." I mean,
Yeah.
he
no,
answered the right way to that
yeah,
question.
Yeah, I believe
I
so
thought
too.
Yeah,
that was I thought that was a good answer. Cody Rhodes went before him and was like that the locker room and roster is one of the best things he's ever seen in wrestling now. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that Vince is not there. You know,
absolutely. Morale
it's a
is high.
different atmosphere. Yeah, it's a different atmosphere. But man, y'all got anything else? I mean,
No, no,
No, this
no.
this was fun.
No, man. But I mean, let's let it be known that Vince has denied all the allegations,
he
and he
has.
has said that he feels she's lying, and I feel the same way, man. I feel she buttered it up. Little bit of this shit might be true, but I feel she buttered it up. You gonna sit here and tell me he shit on her face, and she didn't move around? You not gonna dodge shit? Come on, come on, come on, Betty. You got doo doo all in your nice blonde hair. It ain't even blonde no more. Now you're a brunette.
She not
I don't believe it.
even blonde. Where did you
Oh,
get
What is
blonde
she?
from?
Dark
Every
hair?
picture I've seen of this lady is black.
she
She has
she's
black
a
hair.
yeah, she look like she
Well,
a tan.
if that's the case, you couldn't even see the shit. Go on, go
We gonna get
on.
thrown off the
Yo,
fucking air.
this is I know.
We
They
gonna
kept
get
saying
thrown off the
this is
air.
gonna work. This
Oh,
is gonna work. This is
I
gonna
don't. I don't believe it.
Eh,
I just feel Vince is just freaky deaky. That's where the text messages come from. He freaky deaky, and I feel she was cool with being passed around because it's in the text messages. I just feel that she wasn't getting what she felt she should have been getting for what she was taking.
Listen, just because you want to be passed around for $200,000, don't mean everybody else is okay with it. All right. You have made it abundantly clear that you are perfectly fine with being moved back and forth for 200,000. We know that.
Well, look at here. When I pull up on your ass in a Ferrari, you gonna think the same way I'm thinking. You hear me?
Buddy, if somebody got a shit on me for Ferrari, you can go ahead and keep that. I just keep on walking. I'm good.
I take over for you. I give me another one. Give me another one.
No,
I think if he
and
goes down
got
for anything, he'll go down more for the trafficking thing.
I don't think he's going down at all.
You don't think he's going down at all?
No, he would have went down the last couple times. He's not going down at all.
Nobody had this much though.
The only thing I agree with Ja'Cory on is that I first of all, that man's almost 80 years old. It's no way you're gonna.
He's 78 and he ready.
Yeah, they're not gonna really send him. They might not even send him to prison. And then This is not a political statement. I don't want to hear that shit. Don't fucking say anything about it. But you also got to remember, he is friends with Donald Trump.
Trump, baby.
If Donald Trump is president, this time next year, and he does somehow get time, who's to say that he don't get a little pass? They friends,
They are good friends.
Yep, great friends.
And again, I'm not. This ain't no political statement. It's just facts. They are very good friends. Donald Trump, before he was president, was on fucking WWE.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know?
I mean, Vince
Vince having a hard time. Give him a pardon. One hand wash the other, and you just move on.
I mean, all Vince McMahon gotta say, hey, I did most of my dirt in your hotel, bro, in your penthouse. Help me out.
Yeah.
But I will say I am appreciative of Vince's respect for the black man. He got black dildos everywhere. I never knew he felt this way about us, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I thought he didn't like us. Look, I thought he didn't like us.
He definitely like our dicks. That's for sure.
Hey,
he said he wanted her to take all
I appreciate you, Vince.
He wanted her to have a mandingo party. That is crazy to me.
Hey, I appreciate it.
This is disturbing. I would.
You want to give her nation domination.
That's gonna be the
give her the hurt business.
Yeah, we put her ass in the Hall of Fame.
Well, y'all stop it. Shit. That's gonna be the gist. That's the message of this. This is disturbing. It's not. I mean, to sit here and have to read it, all bullshit aside, I don't think any human being should,
it's like you don't know what to believe though.
Right.
It's crazy like that.
It reads like a novel almost. It just gets more and more outlandish and outrageous as you go further into it.
It almost sounds made up, doesn't it?
But they even outline at the end like all the gifts that were received year over year.
That's what I was saying. She got some shit for what she was doing. 2 or
3 year period, yeah. Like the fucking $15,000 Bloomingdale's, the jewelry, the flowers every other week, the $200,000. I think he bought a brand new BMW or whatnot. I mean, it's a lot of stuff in there,
I'm sorry, I don't think we talked about the most shocking thing in this whole thing. This man in his late 70s and he sitting up here allegedly fucking like a 20-year-old. That's the thing that disturbs me.
Hey,
I don't know what kind of.
Money.
I don't know what kind of Cialis or Viagra he was taking. We're talking about
that cash infused kind.
That blue chew, baby.
The kind you can't avoid, and neither can I.
Yeah, straight up blue chew.
Blue chew, we need a sponsorship, baby.
On the way.
As
soon as we get monetized on YouTube, boom, blue chew.
Based on this episode, you might be wishing for that for a long time. Captain, I don't believe it over here.
Hey, Blue Chew know what it is.
People got to hear Ja'Cory. I would take little 1-minute videos of these segments. And I'm gonna put them up on YouTube and TikTok.
But
anyway, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
People got to hear that.
This has been a very interesting episode. Hopefully, the next time we do something, it'll be on a more cheerful and less serious note than this. Mania coming up. There might be another thing.
To
hit on.
Is it still gonna be 2 nights?
It might be something.
It's still gonna be 2 nights.
2 nights. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Freaking Ja'Cory was talking about he had a problem with our tag team list. You know, so stuff like that we
Oh, you
might
know
can get
what?
into.
You know, we might have to do a whole nother list of stuff like favorite factions, favorite tag teams and stuff. We're gonna have
Oh
to
shit.
redo those.
We gonna
We got
we gonna
Jacory,
have to do something, man. Cause I really didn't like how you did my boy what's them boys' name from God dog it slipped my mind Eric and them boys, the boys that was running
Eric.
with Bray Wyatt.
Uh,
Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
Luke Harper.
Oh yeah, I had a little brain fart, but I don't like how y'all did my boys now.
What
Yeah,
And
they
about
just
him?
weren't
you can't
exciting.
tell me they
Eric,
ain't been, especially what Sherrod said. He didn't think they. Now come on now, them boys was
What I
putting
say?
in some work, and they was powerful. Wasn't nobody really fucking with
only
them. That
thing
was like
Eric
that
Rowan
was
had
like
was
Kane and Undertaker,
his
baby.
roundhouse kick. Eric Rowan
Man,
just had that spinning
first of
sidekick.
all, I think the War Raiders were more entertaining than that fucking tag team.
Nah, I know you
Seriously.
fucking lying.
No, I ain't lying. I'm telling you, I said it. Now, listen, we ain't got enough time for
We
that.
definitely gonna have to
But
get in
we
that
gonna
one.
have to
Yeah, we gonna have to get
we
into it.
gonna have to. But
We
I
should make
mean,
that one the
man,
next one.
anything else before we sign off?
No. I'm good on
Keith,
my end.
you know you
Uh
usually do announcements.
oh yeah. We have a TikTok now. Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Trying to start up the TikTok. Try to
Man,
get us
say
on the TikTok,
TikTok.
the tickety tockety
Somebody
and
Ticky
gonna
stuff.
write
ticky.
you and tell you
Ticky tacky.
you supporting the deep state or some crazy ass shit like that now.
Look, man, either you get with the times or you get left behind.
For real though, cause I
Shoot.
smell a couple haters. A
A
couple
couple
haters.
haters. That dude, oh man, talking about that dude.
That's
Whew,
gonna be another thing we need to talk
that could be
about, cause
another
he needs
thing.
to come on back.
Who?
Come on home.
Enzo.
Oh yeah.
What? Oh man, get the fuck out of
Come
here.
on
Get
home,
the
Oh,
fuck out
Enzo.
of here. Oh,
as
get the
long
fuck
as
out of
Triple
here.
H is at the helm, I don't think he'll bring him back because Triple H does not like that dude.
We gotta talk about him. We
Dude, get
gotta
the
talk
fuck
about
out of here.
Velveteen Dream. Come on home,
Oh
Velveteen.
yeah,
Come on
yeah.
home.
If
That's our
Vince,
boy. He
if
gonna come
what
back.
after this Vince McMahon thing, that motherfucker ain't coming back.
He
He
is, but
coming home.
bro, they
He
didn't find him
apologized
guilty on anything,
on
and
anything.
he got fired because of his behavior. Everything was stemming from his behavior. The sexual
Mhm.
allegations, they were unfounded. He got investigated,
You
was
ain't even
never
gonna be able
arrested.
to use the word sex on TV no time soon for
You can't
WWE.
use
Like
it
that
now.
shit. Yeah, I know. You damn sure ain't finna. Yeah, you ain't finna even sniff up on it now. You can't make
Oh,
no references or
Well,
nothing.
look,
uh,
that's another conversation though, but it will be one that needs to be had because the
yeah,
Velveteen Dream need to come on home.
yep. I still got my shirt. Ready to wear my shirt to an event. There yet.
Yeah, something wrong with you. All right, man,
Whatever,
go on
man.
sign off.
All right, just subscribe to our YouTube, of course. Look at Best Damn Wrestling Stories. We're gonna have a new episode soon on the rise and fall of Austin Aries. That's gonna be the next one.
Ooh.
Pretty sure a lot of people want to talk about that.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated when we drop new episodes or whatnot. And I mean, shout out to the subscribers that we get. You know, we ain't far off our goal of 1,000. Help us reach it, please. You know,
Yeah,
tell somebody to
true.
tune in or
I keep
whatnot.
watching that All Man Johnson video. Subscribe.
Yeah, I'm
58,000
telling you.
views.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. But I mean, until the next time or whatnot, we appreciate you listening. We hope you've enjoyed the episode, and this has been the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. We'll catch you next time.